She checks back there. She checks the empty room.
Hello. Hello.
Here she is on her first day of work. Is this her first day of work?
Absolutely. And she's doing a hell of a lot better. I mean, I was holding my breath on this one.
Want to have a seat? You sit down. Good girl.
And Dr. Wagner, what are some of the attributes that make you think that she's going to be a great cadaver dog?
I am fascinated with her general personality, her acceptance of people in general. She's been well socialized for a young dog. And while she was nervous when she first came in here, she's adapted to folks that I am very dependent on and very critical, and has made a new bigger family.
And you got her at the Carlsbad shelter you mentioned?
The North County shelter. LuLu, the frequent flyer from Valley Center. And I was looking for a shepherd or a retriever as a potential candidate for our canine unit. As far as I know, we're the only coroner medical examiner's office in the country with that. There's some 2,000 coroner medical examiner's offices, but we have so many John and Jane Does and so many frequent searches that to have that in-house capability, as well as being able to work with the Sheriff's Search and Rescue and the Border Patrol canine units, just made a lot of sense. San Diego gets between 200 and 300 John and Jane Does a year, and while the vast majority are identification issues that don't require search and recovery, given our vulnerability to wildfires and the inevitable earthquake, I see this as a very critical element. And it's at no cost to the county. It's an activity that's totally financed with in-house, and hopefully with some time with donations, and I think offers an opportunity to expand with time, and of course with staff, into a very strong and positive program. Our first canine unit, Dealer, the bloodhound, is already FEMA certified and 5 years old, working out well. And now with Unit 2 here, we're ahead of the game. I guess it's not by accident that most of my investigative force are female and all of my canine units are female. I guess I have a preference for the girls.
I like the way you think.
It's the nurturer.
The nurturer.
It's the nurturing and the alpha personality.
And when you say that she's going to be working with the Jane Doe and John Doe, can you explain exactly what she's going to be doing, please?
Well, with our John and Jane Does, of which we have a large number, not all of them are readily recovered or are together, and so dog teams as well as people search teams oftentimes are necessary, particularly in the backcountry, to help locate as much of the remains, or the remains at all, let alone any clandestine graves. And their remarkable ability with scenting gives them an opportunity to detect things that we just would not notice or weigh accordingly.
And you know, I think some people might be concerned that this might be depressing for a dog, but you say there's ways to...
Well, with search and rescue dogs, if all that they find are bodies, they do get depressed. That's been well documented, and because of that, there's been actually a national effort to have a subset of the search and rescue dogs, or search and recovery dogs, that are rewarded for finding remains and being able to distinguish human from animal, because you really want it focused on people, because they'll be working in very hostile environments, going through crushed buildings and things like that.
Will you take her yourself personally?
That is certainly the plan, but I want her to be so comfortable with my investigators that she is a valuable component for the department, as well as being a personal companion.
Uh-huh. And then she has a home life too, so...
She does.
Uh-huh.
She lives at home. I would say she's kenneled in the home, but there is no kennel. She shares it with a 10-year-old Chesapeake Retriever who is a bear to keep out of the water. But he has kind of adopted her, and she has, I think, made him a little bit more manageable. And she's already, even with just 2 weeks, she's already asserting herself. Girls do have their way.
And you had mentioned at the shelter that they said they called her a frequent flyer and that she had been adopted and ran away 3 times.
She's been in the shelter 3 times. This was her 3rd trip and probably her last.
That's great. So it just tells you that you should never give up on a shelter dog.
And you know what I am so impressed with, I mean, she speaks for herself. Here is a shelter dog, a purebred, a beauty, and absolutely comfortable. This is our very first time in this building, which has its own set of unique smells and interactions. In an hour's time, she's comfortable.
Yeah, I would say. Is she allowed to sleep on the job, or it's only about 6:45 in the morning?
Well, yeah. In fact, I'm going to show you where she's going to be spending a better part, because I won't get home until 8 o'clock tonight. So she's going to be with me throughout the day.
Okay.
And while I'm in meetings, obviously she'll be with somebody else, so it becomes that much more critical that she be as comfortable as possible, and she certainly seems to be.
Okay, so we're going to go...
Let's go. This way. No sneaking. No sneaking. I'm sorry. Let's go. Very good. Okay, show him. Show him. Where are you? Bill? Bill? Come here.
Well, she's got a nice office here. Oh, look at her. That's wonderful.
Very good.
Well, thank you very much.